Welcome, everybody, to this new episode of Spanish Loops. Here we are on one side, Jorge Roman. Hola, Jorge.
Hola, Francisco. How are you?
And on the other side, me, Francisco. Hi, everybody. Let's get some music and let's just get started.
This reminds me like the Muppets, a little bit. Okay, let's go with the symphony.
Cool.
Yes, Francisco, another week here. And our topic today is
El Rastro de Madrid.
what?
Rastro?
What?
Rastro. Rastro.
Okay. Rastro, what is that?
Well, rastro,
Yep.
the word rastro, it means the trace. You know, when like a snail walks on the little trace it leaves behind. That's it. Why do we have this name? Well, long time ago in Madrid, we had the place where the butchers were. Okay, so you have the butchers up the street, and then there's one street that is Ribera de Curtidores, which is the tanners street. Okay, and the thing is that the tanners they were at the bottom of that hill. So what happened is they would get the slaughter was done up the hill, and they would get all the skins and everything for the tanners down the hill, and they would make a rastro. They would make a a path. You know, kind of disgusting to think about it, or the drop bleeding drop of the skins of the animals.
Okay. And don't
But
be,
that's the origin
let,
of it.
let's not be so gore. Let's describe it as this.
Oh, that's the origin. That's
Is
what it
the rastro is a word that it comes from a slaughterhouse activity, and they tie the dead stock at the time, and they were dragging the livestock and the activity around the slaughterhouses in the area. So, all right, yeah, you were right. It's in that place
the
in central Madrid,
trace.
yeah, in a neighborhood called Latina. Okay,
Okay.
and yeah, it was where the old slaughterhouse was. But Francisco, haven't you heard about for instance, the flea market in London and some other market? I cannot recall the name in Paris, a very famous
Les
one.
Pouces,
Yeah, that's
el
one. Yeah,
mercadillo. Yeah. So
yeah.
all of the
But
it's one
go
of
ahead.
those markets.
Yeah, that's right. But what is funny to me is that the word rastro, um, most of them, most of these markets around in any town or city in Spain, they have different names. Probably the market of the mules, because I was mainly animal activity, okay,
Mhm.
selling livestock or buying, people buying. Uh, but don't you think that it is a word is expanded all over the country? And when you go to a town, you say, "Is there a restaurant here?" And when? What day? Don't you think
Well,
that?
the thing is that El Rastro, this flea market that you guys have in Madrid, it has become so strong, so powerful that in all the little towns everywhere around Spain, when you have a flea market, we call it El Rastro.
A restaurant, yeah, right. And that's this is a side note that I I had to laugh when I saw the movie, screened by Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant, called Notting Hill.
Mhm.
So it was in the neighborhood is Notting Hill. Is the flea market in London. That happens once every week. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's on a Saturday.
I think
But
it's on Saturday.
yeah, here in Madrid happens on a Sunday. So
Mhm.
uh, it was there are records of the one here in Madrid that there were some kind of permit by the city hall at the time, at the end of the 15th century, near what it was a square called Cascorro. It's just the name of the square, which is on the top of a very light hill going down. Okay, so in that square, it was the old slaughterhouse, used to be. But then people just saw that not only for meat, it was for any other products. So, excuse me, guys. The area of Rastro today sits where it used to be the home for the what you mentioned, the the leather tanneries, and they were conveniently located, of course, to these slaughterhouses. The market got its name as a lighthouse was dragged to the tanneries, and they left behind a trail of blood. So we had to be
Hmm.
gore again. Yeah, right. Anyway, there is another written document that makes official that area as a market, what it is nearly what it is today, and it dates back from 1740, and it's been since then a lively spot for buying, selling, trading, or bartering second-hand goods. Today, along with many permanent shops. So that means that any time of the week you can go and
Hmm.
I'm in that area and buy things. There is, I think it is 3,500. I'm not exaggerating here. 3,500 stalls that every people, the owners of those stalls or counters, provisional counters, they go there very early in the Sunday morning and they start installing it. Just like a puzzle, making it up, and they are allowed to take their cars into there, and then you just can find anything. And when I say anything, I mean anything. Obviously, sometimes it's been found shells of bones from the Civil War.
Yeah. I mean, you
Yeah,
can find anything.
artworks from Goya has also been found there. Can you imagine?
Yeah. I mean,
Can you imagine?
really, I mean, the Rastro, one of the things about the Rastro that I love, I love going to all of these flea markets everywhere. And the one in
I
Madrid,
love them.
it's
I
super
love it.
fun.
Wherever there is a flea market, forget about me. Forget about
Yeah,
me.
I gotta be there. Me too. But once I went there and I said, I'm looking for these to one of these stalls, and I said,
Yeah,
I don't have it, but give me 10 minutes. And it appears somebody who knows somebody has whatever you need.
yeah,
I mean, really, to me, El Rastro de Madrid, it's like a really big experience of Spain.
yeah.
It's loud, it's fun, you can have
Very
the
busy, extremely busy, extremely busy.
super
Actually, you know what
busy
is the best time to visit the restaurant, Francisco? The best
early,
time to
early,
make
early
it
in the
is,
morning.
I mean, you have to sacrifice yourself. Sunday, normally we take it a little bit more relaxed, and we tend to be in bed a little bit, longer, just,
Oh,
nothing to do on a
yeah.
Sunday, right? Well, we're not working. But if you just make a sacrifice and get yourself up early, and you are there, because I mean, if you live nearby the Rastro, you just have to go down steps and you are there. But obviously, there are people from all over, including the province of Madrid, that they come specifically to Madrid to go to
Mhm.
the restaurant on Sunday mornings. So you have to be there by 9. If you can, like the before, will be perfect. And you will see how little by little everything starts to burst, right? And by 10, 15, then you will see that there is a human wave going up and down the streets. And there are sections. There are sections where you can buy clothes, second-hand clothes. There's a section for antiques. There are a section for vinyl records. There are sections for, I don't know, junk.
Junk.
Absolutely everything.
Personally, I love the junk part
So do
because
I.
it's
It's another
my.
part.
I know my wife is like, we're not going to. Yes, we are. Come on. I always buy something. It's like, oh, look, this useless thing is like, oh, so cute. Yeah, I get it. Damn. And then you go home. It's like, where do I put it? I don't know. Throw it away. No, no, no. Like,
Yeah. I remember some. Sorry, please go
no, no.
ahead.
But what you said, arrive early. Normally
Yeah.
they open by 9. Arrive there by 9 because if not, it's going to be super crowded. And if you're looking for something, it's easier to find it because they sell a lot. So
Oh yeah, they
yeah.
sell everything. They sell everything. I remember years ago, a bunch of friends. I mean, this was my pre-tour guide life. Okay, when I had let's say a normal life in the sense of waking up at a certain time every morning, blah blah blah, and some once a month, a bunch of friends we used to go there, and we all had our list. Okay, I need this. You need that. You need that. You need that. This is our meeting point, and let's meet here by 12:31, which is the aperitivo time.
There we go.
So all the bars and restaurants that they are in the area, they are absolutely packed. And that's where I discovered, to me, a delicacy, which some of the people in our audience, they're gonna say, "Boo." But I know you like him as well, Francisco. The best snails ever cooked.
Casa Amadeo.
That's right.
Ah.
You know that place.
I when I go to the mercadillo, when I go to Rastro, I go to Casa Amadeo for
Oh,
the
wow.
snails. It's
Nice.
so good.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. There is another one which is literally a hole in the wall, which is called Los Caracoles, which is snails in Spanish.
Oh,
But
that one
it's
I don't know.
always so crowded and so packed that it's not that you have to fight for your food. You have to fight for your
Fight
food
for me.
there.
Like, get out. I
So
want my
sometimes
snails.
it depends in your mood. You just remain there, have the fun experience, everything, and you have to eat it like almost like if you were trying to keep your balance, being pushed from one side or another, just like that. Your beer in one hand, and try to eat a little plate of snails with the other hand. It's
By the
kind of
way, about the snails in Spain, they have nothing to do with the French escargot, which are very, very big. Our snails are very petite. Okay,
well,
so
it depends on the time of the year.
yeah,
Now is the time of the year of the little ones. Now
okay.
at the end of the spring is the big ones, and
Well,
I
big,
I
but not
love
like the
those.
big ones from France.
No,
Okay.
not like an oyster size.
Like I
No.
said,
No.
I love snail.
Yeah,
Anyway, back
yeah,
to the rastro.
yeah. And well, that's one of the things. And when I said that you could buy anything, you're gonna be shocked. And this is the shocking part about it. It wasn't in Madrid Rastro. I mean, Madrid Rastro is unique. You can find whatever you like there. But I remember I was touring. I cannot remember the exactly what year was that, but I know it was in Galicia, northwest of Spain, and it
Mhm.
happened that I was making a lunch/slash pit stop for the group, and then it was like about a couple of hours. I gave some indications where people would go, etc., etc., but I realized that it was that time specifically. It was a different day of the week that we were
Mhm.
stopping there. So it was the center of the city, although it's just for pedestrians, okay? It was the one of those restaurants. And guess what I found in
What
that?
did you find?
Okay, I'm a Beatlemaniac,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So I was just strolling through the vinyl records because I still have my turnstile there, going around turnstile, my uh,
Just
vinyl
yeah,
player. Yeah, my vinyl player. I still use it. Yes, I'm sorry, guys. I'm that's old-fashioned. And then I saw something that it didn't catch my eye at the first sight, but then after 6 or 7 discs that I was trolling through, I realized, oh, wait a minute, what did I see? And I went back and I saw the White Album of the Beatles, which I have the vinyl. I have the CD as well, and it's in my playlist, etc.
Mhm.
In Russian, not the Beatles singing in Russian,
No,
a
no,
Russian edition numbered with the Russian Cyrillic characters.
no way.
Yes, because
Obviously, you bought it.
you know, of course, the most of the rock and pop music was banned in the
Yeah,
USSR
Russia.
at the time,
Yeah.
right? And everything was, black market, etc., etc. But this was an official release, and I think it was the year it says on the from
On the
on
cover.
the thing on the record or the back part of the record. It was 1989, and yeah, it's the white album of the Beatles, but everything is in
In
Cyrillic,
Russian.
and it was numbered, so it was a limited edition, and it cost me. When I asked the price, I thought to myself, it's gonna cost me a fortune. Should it be worth or not? So when I asked the price, and it was like about at least 10 years ago, and when the guy said to me, "Oh, the price is on the back in the little sticker," and I saw the price, I looked at the guy just for a split of a second because I didn't want him to see my surprising face in how cheap it was. And it was 15 euros.
15 euros for
15. So I said, okay, have you got any more of this? And so I just, acted like I
Okay,
had
I'll
no
take it.
interest, and I kept looking. I said, okay, I'll take this one. So I'm proud of having that little collector's item of the Beatles. And yeah, I'm just telling you, although it wasn't in the Madrid Rastro, but in any of
Yeah.
those markets,
You
and
can find
especially in Madrid, you can
weird
find
stuff.
weird stuff. Yeah. And as I said, like about 15 years ago, a Goya miniature painting was found in one of those, let's say, young parts where they try to display everything very nicely with little
Yeah.
paintings here and there. And
That was an original Goya.
it's an original Goya. Can you believe that?
Well, you might hit jackpot there.
Yeah.
As little
Can
tips about going to the market,
Yeah.
okay, to this Rastro market. The first one, the shops, they do have credit cards. They do accept credit cards. Many do not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those that they are on the street where you
Yeah.
walk, they don't. They normally get
You
cash.
have to pay cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second, and this is something that I love. You can try to negotiate the price.
It depends on
It's
what items.
in the shops, no,
No.
but in the ones that stands on the street, give it a try. Oh no, mucho dinero. Go, the 10 euros is too expensive. Mucho, mucho. Ocho, seven. Oh no, no, no. Okay. Hey, it's one of the things that I love. I love to negotiate. In Spain, you don't negotiate prices,
No, you
except
don't. You don't bargain. You don't
no.
bargain.
So
Yeah.
in Spain,
But
don't.
if you go to that section that you're talking about,
Yeah,
especially where all the junk stuff is, and maybe you want to buy three or four old plugs because you have a lamp that needs that specific plug or whatever, or
yeah,
socket, call it however you want it, and then you want to buy, let's say, two or three just in order because they are very hard to find. Of course, going to be secondhand.
yeah,
They're going to be used. But let's say that they have two or three or even four, you want to buy them all. And maybe the price per unit is a couple of euros. So if you buy the four of them, it's going to be 8. So you just tell them, okay, what about if I take the four of them for 6? They're probably going to tell you, yeah, okay, come on, just take it.
yeah.
Because you're doing them a favor. You're taking junk out of them.
Out of them. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's fun and
It
it's
is fun,
great.
yeah.
One down part or one down thing of El Rastro, it's that it is so popular and everybody goes, and a lot of people goes with cash. There's some
Yeah,
pickpocketers, so
yeah,
please watch out for pickpocketers.
yeah. That
Okay,
happens all over in
yeah.
uh,
I mean, if
any,
you go
any
to in
market.
London, if you go to there's always you have to be alert when there's all of these crowds.
Yeah.
So don't put your guards down because, especially, I think people put their guards down because the vibe it's so
Yeah,
fun and
yeah,
so relaxing, and you stop for some snails or you stop for some beers, and then you have so
I
to
agree.
me, the greatness of El Rastro in Madrid, it's the vibe. The
That's
vibe,
right.
it's fun, it's
Yeah,
delightful,
it's an
and
experience. It is an
it's an
experience.
experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think everybody should go to Madrid and enjoy. If you're on a Sunday, go to the market, which is in el barrio de la Latina, as you
La
said,
Latina, yeah. I mean, from the core of the city, which is the square called Puerta del Sol, to La Latina is barely 10 minutes on foot. If,
walking,
yeah,
if so.
walking
Yeah, it's
distance. Yeah.
walking 10 minutes. So
10
really,
minutes.
it's in the core of the city, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it's vibrant. And one of the things that I don't know if that's happened to you, but you get to see a lot of famous people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Because, I mean, obviously, when you are looking and you have so much thing around you, I call that the too much information dumbness. That's how I call it. I
too
mean,
much
there is so
information,
much
dumbness.
around you that you're not conscious of what is around. But if you focus, you know, um, I am a kind of person that I like to see things from a different perspective whenever I have seen the first impression. It's
Yeah.
like when you ask me, for instance, how many times have you heard this Beatles song? I can tell you. I mean, I know the lyrics, I know everything, I know absolutely everything. But then, sometime now and again, if I just see either a movie that I've seen many times or musical that I've seen many times, I might perceive something different that I wasn't aware of because maybe because I was looking at it from another perspective. Okay, so what happens when I go to these places? If it is the first time, I'll be dummy. I'll be a dummy totally, just looking around and excited what's in here, and especially if it is a food market. That's my
Oh,
that's my weakness. But if I mean weakness is all the street market per se, and but then if I keep going to those things, you know what I like to do is I like to sit somewhere in a, let's
people
say,
walk.
even if it is a statue or let's say a halfway up wall and see people, just to watch the people, etc. And you are right. Many famous celebrities, they go there, and guess who have been seen there many, many times lately?
Who?
Richard Gere.
Well, he's moved to Spain.
Yeah, he's living here in Madrid now. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Well,
living
his
in Madrid,
wife or partner is
and
Spanish, so
they just go, they just, I mean, just it's another face among the
yeah.
hundreds of thousand faces you're gonna see there. And then unless you look at the people straight in their eyes like that, you won't notice who is gonna be there.
No,
So
I have seen Penelope Cruz
oh yeah,
in the Rastro.
yeah,
I have seen Pedro Almodovar,
hmm,
Antonio Banderas, all of these
yeah,
people that are like the Spanish
yeah, celebrities. Yeah.
celebrities. I've seen them many, many times. Many. I've seen them once in there. But if I assume that if I've seen them, probably they have gone many other times. So yeah, it's a great fun place to
Yeah,
experience the real Spain. So
true. And don't forget whenever you go to not only Madrid, but any other in Spain or anywhere else, go early. Okay, go
yes.
early in the morning. But I don't know, for some reason, the one in Madrid lasts until 4, even 5 p.m. And I do
To
not,
me,
yeah, please go ahead.
I've only been there in the mornings
Yeah,
until lunchtime, as you say, until the aperitivo. After the
yeah.
aperitivo, you have a couple, two, 3 beers, and it's like, okay, get me out of here. That's it. No, I don't need any more. So yeah,
It is
to me,
fun for
it's
those who visits the place, but it's not fun at all for people who lives there
because
because there is two issues. Now, parking in central Madrid is almost impossible, okay, because there's very, very few spots in the streets, and you have to have the parking permit. And
emissions.
also, the buildings are from the 17 and 1800s and early 1900s, and very few of those buildings that they are forming those streets that, a little maze
Mhm.
around the area. Very few has underground parking. So those who have the underground parking, if you are the owner of one apartments and you are lucky to have your parking there, take for granted that you cannot use your
You
car on a
cannot use
Sunday
it on the side.
because from midnight, from Saturday to Sunday, until I think it's 10 p.m. on Sunday evenings, you cannot take the car out or get the car in at all.
Too crowded.
First, it's impossible because the number of people. Second, because when you're buying that property or you're renting that property, in every contract there is a line
Mhm.
saying that you're not allowed to use your car, not even in emergencies.
Oh no, it's impossible. I mean,
No.
it's you cannot move
If
a
you have an
car.
emergency at home, just call emergency. Here in Europe it's 112, and they will take care to get to where they have to, but not don't use your car because you will be in a lot of trouble,
No,
and it is inconvenience as well.
it
Just
is,
having
but
a
it's
car on a Sunday and you cannot use it. But hey, that's the price you have to pay to live in
to live
such
there.
a wonderful area.
So anyway, for our listeners, let's do a recap. Sundays
Yep.
in Madrid, 9 o'clock, La Latina neighborhood.
Yeah.
Have cash, mind your pickpockets, have fun, enjoy, and have some snails.
Caracoles, some
Caracoles.
caracoles. Yeah.
Caracoles.
You won't regret it.
There. So, Jorge, that's pretty much all we want to talk about. Do you have any other tips or things to do in La Latina, the
No,
neighborhood?
no, not in La Latina, but anywhere where you are in the world. If you've been at the Rastro market, it would be great if you share some photos with us, and we can post it in our social media with your permission, of course. And we are saying this in some chapters. If you have done what we have talked about, or if you have visited this place or the other, we are, receiving, little by little some emails saying, hey, this is me in that year, that moment where you talked in that chapter. We might make, in tribute to you, a chapter of that.
Yeah.
And don't forget that the email is SpanishLoops@gmail.com. That's where you can, even and if you have questions or suggestions, please feel free to make it.
Also,
Francisco.
if you, oh no, sorry, if
No.
somebody has liked this podcast, please give us a like or subscribe to our channel, either Spotify or YouTube, whenever you're listening to us,
Yeah.
because it really helps us. And we
Don't
want
subscribe or like. Subscribe and like.
and
Both.
like. Yes, please do so. Yeah, or also would be great if you could share this podcast with somebody you love. So
yeah.
we just want to
that
share about
that helps a lot.
our passion for Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Jorge,
Well, Francisco,
thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure again, another week. And everybody out there, we will see you next week.
See you next semana. Adiós, amigos.
Bye. And as usual, we want to thank all our listeners for being there every week, letting us sharing our talks. Follow us in Spanish Loops in Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite platform.
And in Instagram, you can find us as the Spanish Loops Podcast, no spaces altogether. If you want to find us the quickest way, just Google Spanish Loops Podcast and you will find us. Hasta la vista, amigos.
See you next week.